Hey, how you guys doing? It's your boy Beastly back on again with another episode in our How To Dynasty series. If you're new, I appreciate you. Basically, this is the series where I give you tips and tricks, little information nuggets here and there on how to improve your general Dynasty experience, most notably free of charge. I know a lot of other content creators out there love to nickel and dime their audience for the most minuscule little info dumps, but I don't do that to my audience. So there you go. Shots fired. Do whatever you want with that information as you will. But either way, this is the episode. We are going to be covering basically how to I don't want to say glitch the game. It's a very fun clickbait phrase a lot of content creators use, but unironically, I do think this playbook is glitched because as you can see on your screen, we've practically won the Heisman on our team for the last 10 years. And no, before I get the obligatory, it's not that it's so easy to win every single award, Beastly, when you force win your games. This was on the, as you guys can see, top right corner, Bob the Rebuilder. Shout out my boy Miko for the wonderful coach name for this series. This was a series we did. Chat voted for the team. Discord voted for the challenge. If you want to be voting for the challenges and future content down the road, be sure to join the Discord. Discord's linked in the description of every single video and stream I do. We're like 300 to 400 proud in there, so I appreciate y'all. But anyways, yapping aside, they picked the Nick Saban challenge where I one-upped every Nick Saban accolade in 17 years. It was a fun challenge. It really was. And along the way, we did some testing and other stuff. And one of the things I tested, as you can see right here, chat basically informed me there's a playbook that pretty much guarantees you a Heisman every year. And I'm like, there's no way you can guarantee a Heisman. They weren't trolling, right? My chat for the, one time, they were actually not lying to me. This thing is insane. Like, I don't use the word glitched very often, but I genuinely feel like if you follow the tips in this video, you can pretty much spat out a Heisman every single year. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, so if you guys haven't tried the Georgia offense, you have to use the Georgia offense. The Georgia offense, along with the other tips that I will include in this video, don't worry, I'm not going to magically hide stuff for you. This Georgia offense, I haven't tested the playbook enough to fully say it's the best playbook in the game, like overall. I still think as of this moment, I have more seasons and more data with Ohio State, and I'm more comfortable with saying Ohio State, Clemson, and Duke are still really good playbooks. But I will say this much, if the Georgia playbook can continue putting up the numbers it's currently putting up in testing, I think this might be the best playbook in the game, straight up. Again, I've only used it for about 4-ish years, in terms of winning 4-ish years, in terms of Heisman's 8-9 years, but sometimes this playbook's a bit weird. Again, if you watch the streams, you would know that like sometimes you'll lose to like a shitty team, like an 85 overall Baylor teams beat me a couple times in the conference championship and they're like an 85, 84. And like other times you'll have like a playoff game where you'll just score like 13 points. So in terms of the consistently winning part, I still have to use the playbook more. But in terms of the Heisman, I can confirm it's the best Heisman book in the game. Like legitimately, if you play with Georgia offense, 4-3 multiple, best defense, right? Hasn't changed. And then run 100 both ways. Yes, this is slightly different from what I recommended in my previous video, but here's what you're going to do. So what I've noticed with the Georgia playbook, specifically when you have a crazy roster, it will absolutely giga inflate 3 people on your team statistically. Your wide receiver 1, your running back 1, and your QB, obviously. Those 3 players will have like 85% of your team's touchdowns. I'm not joking you. Like, it's legit. I don't know how, like, what's in this playbook. I've never used it in game, but I would presume this playbook has a ton of RPOs or just basically screens and what have you, plays where 1 or 2 people get the ball. So if you have a good running back 1, a good wide receiver 1, and a good QB and a favorable schedule, you can basically crank out a Heisman like I was doing every single year. So what you do is for defense, you basically keep this at 100 the entire time, right? Before, if you watched my previous video, I would recommend keeping it at 75 for the games in which you were close with your opponent. Within, I would probably say 5 to 10 overall, right? If you're a 99 and they're like a 90, I'd probably lower it to 75. After more testing, defensive-wise, I've found no difference. My pass rushers are still getting 30 sacks a season. My DBs are getting nearly 10 picks each a season. Whether I'm at 75 or 100, they're playing out of their mind. And again, reference the chat and reference the streams, but there was a year we did this. My defense, I'm not even joking you, we had 4 playoff games. In 4 playoff games, my defense gave up 9 total points. and 6 of those 9s were against the Lincoln Riley playbook. So there you go, the USC playbook, if you didn't know. One of the most OP playbooks in the game. So yeah, we averaged, I think, 6.1 to be exact. We had like 8 sacks per game. It was easily the greatest defense I've ever assembled. It's just nutty. But yeah, I've noticed pretty much no difference between 75 and 100. So I cranked that to 100. You will get so many more fumbles, so many more sacks, just all around, just the most inflated defensive stats you will ever see. And here's the main difference here. If you want to win the Heisman, you got to put up crazy stats. How do you put up crazy stats? Well, just like exactly with your defense, just crank this to 100. And before, I was having issues with like, well, if you're playing against good schools, you can't play at 100 because your quarterback will throw 6, 7, 8, 1,000 interceptions and lose your game. That still stands. So what I've done, and I haven't tested this for the SEC, the ACC, or the Big Ten, but for Bob the Rebuilder this series, we stuck around in the Pac-12. The Pac-12 has garbage teams. So if I were you, I would still do the exact same thing. I would still run 100 versus the absolute free 4 cupcake games you're going to be scheduling yourself every single year. Again, I'll cover that later in the video. But if you are within that 5 to 10 overall range, I would just keep this at 100, right? Like if you're going against like an 85 overall school, I would just keep it at 100. And what you'll notice is if you run, especially like I was doing 100 pretty much the entire season, except for 1 or 2 games, my quarterback was throwing for 6,000 yards. My wide receiver 1 was getting 35 plus touchdowns and 2,000 plus yards every year. Even my running backs, there was a year where both my running backs, the starter and the backup, both had 35 plus touchdowns. Yeah, it was just the offensive numbers you put up with this playbook and the right schedule and the right players and the right aggressiveness is just bonkers. I think I have a screenshot somewhere on my Xbox just to give you guys a small taste of what I'm in reference to. So here's one of those screenshots from the seasons I was referring to. Yeah, these are the numbers you can put up when you, again, have the right playbook, the right settings, the right athletes / players at the right positions. These are the numbers we were putting up. And no, I'm not trolling. Again, you can go watch the streams. If you don't believe me, fact check me. There you go. Were these difficult games? No. Am I in a cupcake conference? 100%. But you can still replicate this even in harder conferences because you can give yourself cupcake games, right? Everyone's guaranteed basically 4 blowouts a year. So as long as you put up the dumbest stats you possibly can in your blowouts, you will win the Heisman. Now, will you win it every year like I'm doing? Probably not. But like every other year, every third year, 100%. So as you can see, your eyes don't deceive you here. I beat Charlotte 97-0 in sim, by the way. Don't play anything. This is all sim. I beat Charlotte 97-0. I beat South Alabama 76-0. I beat Colorado 77-0, and I beat FCS Midwest 91-10. We almost dropped 100 points in 2 different games. Like, this is not a trick. This is not a ploy. I promise you, it does work. Now, again, I haven't fully tested the Georgia playbook in terms of winning, but I can tell you for a cold, hard fact, it will make you just absolute printout stats. So if you're looking for a Heisman and you're looking just to have the most crazy, unethical stat line for sim, Georgia playbook with, again, the right players, right aggressiveness, all the right stuff, the easiest schedule possible, you'll put up dumb stats. So there you go. Just to give you a small idea of like what is the stat line you're going to be probably seeing. We have a Jeremy Capers over here. This was actually one of the worst receivers we had that actually won the Heisman. So just keep that in mind. He had 137 receptions, 2,258 yards, and 23 touchdowns. He was actually kind of bad. Because again, if you watch the streams, you would know that we had receivers pretty consistently going for like 30, 31, 33, 35 touchdowns. This guy is actually kind of low in the TD department, but I believe this was the same year where both of our running backs had 35 plus. So all of our touchdowns kind of got snugged at the goal line by our running backs. I'm sure fantasy owners were going ballistic, but yeah, 2,000 yards is also pretty consistent with this. And as you could probably also guess, because this playbook gives you the most dumb sim stats possible, aside from winning Heismans, you're going to be winning so many player of the weeks. It's not even funny. Just a small example of what player of the week you could be seeing if you did, replicate this. As you can see, Jeremy Capers, the same man, the myth, the legend himself against Kansas, put up 17 receptions, 370 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Like, this is what you could see. Now, are you going to always see 370? No, you'll probably be more consistently between like 200 and 250 and more consistently probably 2 to 3 touchdowns. But again, if you have that right blend of everything going your way and the other team sucks enough, you can put up crazy numbers. I lost the screenshot, unfortunately, but again, chat can verify that there was a game I had a QB throw for almost 600 yards and 8 touchdowns. Like, he didn't get player of the week. The player of the week went to the receiver. Like, it was just the most unethical stats you will put up in sim. Just if you rock this playbook with the, again, maxed out aggressiveness and you're a good squad versus a cupcake. Now, I can't show you because I've already skipped past the week, but if it's your dynasty, in the week you can schedule your out of conference games, make sure to filter by a 0-star school and pick the lowest overall. So for the season, I currently have booted up. That way we can see it live for the video. Because again, I don't hide and do anything malicious. I show everything I talk about. I have references. I have points of, yada, yada, yada. So our quote unquote bad schools this year are going to be Kennesaw State. We're going to go butcher. Texas State. We're going to go butcher. FCS Southeast. We're going to go butcher. And I believe our last is, Georgia State way down here. Realistically, all the other schools are also going to go butcher, except for Notre Dame. This is the only game every year I always turn down my aggressiveness from 100 to 75 just because I really don't want to lose to Notre Dame. But either way, we're going to show you live. Here's my roster if you do want to see it. I did all the fun stuff off cam. That way we can speed this video up as much as possible. Here is the squad. I think I probably have like 20-ish, 97 25, 97 plus overall players. We have a ton. Our quarterback, ironically, also isn't the best this year. I kind of let myself go. We have a 92 overall freshman. He's giga stat capped. So next season, he's going to upgrade probably 1, if not 2 overall more, but he's kind of done. And the rest of our QB room is just kind of buns. So I'm probably going to end up cutting 4 of these guys down the road. The only real guy that I know for a fact is good is this gentleman, Sharif Terrell. He has no stat caps, as you can see. Actually, I lied. He has 1, 1, and 2. Basically, no stat caps. There you go. He's going to be amazing down the road. But a lot of our 4 and 5-star QBs actually got stat capped like crazy. So they're going to never eclipse that 99 overall QB, which we always love to have. But even though we aren't going to have that good of a QB, as you guys can see, we have 4 89 plus overall running backs. Or we're going to just be doing crazy work with the running back game this year. And for our wide receivers, again, this is not my best class I've ever had put together. So we, between our quarterback kind of being worse than average and our receivers kind of being worse than average, we might not put up the craziest numbers. But even if we do put up the, those crazy numbers, it goes to show you it does, translate. But yeah, normally I have at least 4 or 5 maxed out everything receivers. Here, as you guys can see, I have to start 4 freshman receivers. Boo-hoo, cry me the fiddle, I know. I basically didn't get enough depth one year and all of them went pro, which forced me the next year to kind of have to over recruit. And you guys know the story. So yeah, just ignore the 4/5 overall or 4/5 elite/startup receivers. They're going to get better. Give them like a year or 2 and they'll be nasty, but they'll get the job done this year. Offensive line, 99s across the board, as always, because we stay recruiting. Defensive line, my backups are in the 90s. My starters are obviously 99s. D-tackles, I have 3 99s. Yes, this guy's a 97. I know I selectively chose to not cap him out because I didn't want him competing snaps with these guys. Furthermore, no, your eyes do not deceive you. I have a 314-pound guy playing nose tackle with 98 speed. I know, crazy. But hey, I'm not, you got to get these athletes and move them to defensive line. I've kind of ran that joke into the ground, but, and your tips don't work. Of course they don't. My tips and tricks don't work so much to the point that other people have to fraudulently copy my content and pretend like they don't know who I am. Shots fired. Anywho, our secondary is also not that good. I'm used to having at least 4, if not 5, 99 overall corners. We got a couple mid-90s here, so the team is not up to snuff as I normally would like. Again, my safety is only a 97. Normally, we have guys who are fully capped out, like these 2 gentlemen will be. Not the best, not hitting our peak is what I should be saying here. We've had better QB, better receivers, better DBs, but we got to keep it going. Before I click sim, let's go ahead and make sure I have everything set up properly, and I can just advance it, and you guys can see it for yourself. 100, perfect. Let's see if we can go beat the absolute brakes off of Kennesaw State. I hope we win by like 70 points. That'd be pretty cool. I hope we don't get one of those games where we win by like 20. That would be absolutely deflating for the video. Because during the live streams, they were popping off. Okay, we didn't get a player of the week. That's really bad. What was the stat line for this game? We only beat them 70-6. Oh, how? How did we only score 70 points? Oh, my quarterback sucked. He only threw for 405 touchdowns. That's pretty bad. Both my starter and my backup had... Oh my... Holy shit, we had 5 touchdowns on the ground. Yeah, that'll do it for you. That stinks. That stinks. I mean, hell, we still had a receiver crack 7 receptions, 115, and 3 touchdowns. That's not bad, but we ran the ball too much. Darn, we only won by 64 points. Well, maybe Texas State can have 80 points dropped on them this week. Okay, well, maybe this week we will actually win the award. Survey says, give us like something crazy for the video. Like 5 touchdowns, 480 yards. Something crazy. Oh, we won. That's nice. And we got no awards again. Is this like just the YouTube curse? It can happen 1,000 times on the... We beat them 80-0 and we got no awards. Really? Dude, my quarterback sucks, bro. 376 yards. Yeah, I know he threw 6 touchdowns, but like 376 yards? My brother in Christ, we can't get wide receiver awards if you're not actually, I don't know. Ooh, my receiver did do decent. 11 receptions, 136, and 3 touchdowns. That's actually not that bad. But yeah, my quarterback's not actually doing that well in the passing department, which I guess would obviously hinder this. But my running backs are doing insane. So more than likely, if I had to speculate, the running backs are probably going to win the award this year. Let's do it. Go ahead and check the... We are not even in the top 5. That's not a good start. But hey, we got more time. I'm going to go and do the recruiting and see you guys momentarily. So just to show you guys what this playbook's like when you're simming it, I was going to cut all this out just because I wanted to see it myself, but we just destroyed Notre Dame 48-13, and they're a 96 overall team. So just to show you this playbook / settings still does work against good schools. Now, is it 100%? I haven't played it enough to actually test it 100%. I feel very confident, though. Like, I would put it very high. Notre Dame had 2 different QBs play this game because both of them sucked. That's actually really funny. Let's go ahead and review our stats real quick. My QB, there we go. He finally had a good game. I don't know why he couldn't do this against the other schools, but he could do it against Notre Dame. 6 touchdowns, almost 450 yards. Rushing on the ground, we really didn't do squat on the ground. That's because everything we got was through the air. And as you can see, we had a receiver, or a receiver with 6 receptions, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a receiver with 13 receptions, 184, and 1 touchdown. So, doesn't matter if we're playing cupcakes, if we're playing good schools. Again, I'll show you. Notre Dame, I think it's like a 96. They're a little worse than us overall-wise, and it's not going to show me their overall now. But either way, they're on par. Actually, I believe. One moment. Let me go ahead and find a way to show you their overall. Okay, there you go. They are a 94 overall squad that we just took behind the shed and absolutely beat the piss out of. So there you go. That's probably the hardest game we're going to play all year, and now it's just easy street. There we go. That's finally what you're supposed to be expecting. I don't know why it took me 4 weeks to finally get the pop-up. There you go. Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. Leo Calais is his name. 15 receptions, 200 yards, and 3 touchdowns. There we go. It should pop up again. Yep, for the National Player. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And yeah, that's going to happen, rinse, repeat several times throughout the year, just to give you guys a small taste of like what's going on. So we beat Kennesaw State 72-6. Then we beat Texas State 80-0. We blew out a 96 overall Notre Dame squad 48-13. And we just beat the Guppies by 62 points. I am probably going to bore you guys all the boring bits. I'm going to sim until probably another pop-up of like Player of the Week just to show you extra stats, or at the very end where I know we will inevitably win the Heisman. But we can do one little last peek before I cut the rest of this out for you guys. As you guys saw, week 1 or 2, we had nobody on the list, and now we got our first guy on the list. Expect our players to shoot up the board once we get more games under our belt. But yeah, I'm going to cut to either the end of the year or some more pop-ups. So see you guys momentarily. Well, I was expecting a receiver or running back pop here. My quarterback finally had a pop for week 6 Player of the Week. He threw for 374 and 5 touchdowns with a 72% completion. That's pretty good. But On to week, what are we in, 7? Yeah, on to week 7. There we go. Leo Calise. Leo got another player of the week, 10 receptions, 186, and 4 touchdowns. Love to see it, love to see it. And of course, it would be National Player of the Week, as per always, because we stay getting great players. So another absolute W. I think I just had the Heisman spoiled. Did we just jump from not on the list? Yeah, we just jumped from not on the list to being second and third. I would presume by the end of this year, we're going to be 1, 2, and 3, possibly 4. The most I've ever had on a Heisman watch, I think, was 4, which is just nutty. It's almost like the game heard me complaining, like, why are we not getting, here's another player of the week, 11 receptions, 215 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I doubt that's going to be, oh, never mind, I stand corrected. That's 11 receptions, 215, and 2 touchdowns for the National Player of the Week as well. That's the third, I think it's the third or fourth National Player of the Week we have. We have Baylor. What, last year they were a 70, oh, good for you, Baylor. You were a 78, 80 overall team. Now you're a fringe 90. I'm proud of you, Baylor. You're getting better ever so slightly. We're going to kick the crap out of you. But, yeah, let's keep it going. And to walk off our season with another player of the week, our QB, Ahmad. I think it's pronounced Ahmad Haynes, with 356 touchdowns and an 80% completion percentage. I don't actually think we're going to get a Heisman this year. Ironically enough, for the video, we're going to break the Heisman streak, sadly. It's just we just didn't have good enough QBs or receivers, and our running backs kind of sharked everything. As you can see, he got the Walter Camp Award, which is pretty nice. I'm sure we're going to get several awards here. He got the Sean Alexander Award, also pretty nice. He got the Maxwell Award, also pretty nice. And he actually got the Heisman. Wow, I am actually shocked they gave him the Heisman. That is, I mean, he deserved it, for the record. It's just, he was second place all year to the Florida receiver, so I'm assuming that final game must have elevated him, and now I'm probably not going to cut any of this from the video. You guys can just see the sheer, we're getting like every award, basically. Every award you could possibly hand out, we're getting it, because our team is absolutely nutty. We finished 13-0 as per usual. Let's go look at our team stats, or our season stats, excuse me, and let's go ahead and wrap up the video. So our QB, who again, for the record, is not the best QB I've ever had. I've had much, much, much better QBs before. He, this year, had a 75% completion percent, which is a bit bad for us. Normally, our QBs have between like 80 and 85, so he's a bit of a step down. 5K yards, again, is not bad, but normally we do better. 59 touchdowns, 2 picks. Like to see that, but our quarterbacks, again, normally get about 60 plus, so he's a smidge down there. 2 INTs is also a lot. Our quarterbacks don't normally throw INTs, so, oh well. Rushing, as you guys can see, our starting running back got 1,200 yards. Our backup running back got 750 more yards. And our QB also sprinkled in 200 yards there, along with 3 touchdowns. 19 touchdowns for the backup, 17 for the starter. That's right, you guys see that. We have almost 40 touchdowns with just 2 running backs. Receiving popped off, but again, we just don't have the players we normally do, just due to my own incompetence for roster management. But 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns, not bad. Our number 2 had almost 1,200 and 16 touchdowns. Our wide receiver 3 put up 800 yards and 10 touchdowns. And don't forget our tight end, he also put up 800 yards and 11 touchdowns. A pretty well spread attack, if I do say so myself. Let's go check the defensive stats real quick, shall we? My left end put up 21 sacks. My right end put up 18.5 sacks. My D tackle 1 put up 13. My D tackle 2 put up 6. And then we got a bunch of sprinkled in halves and ones. DBs, again, not normally up to our standard. We just don't have the 99s we traditionally do. I mean, we have a great linebacker who's getting as many ducks as our corners, which goes to show you just how much we've fallen off as a defense. But all of this means absolutely nothing. What are our team stats? And we can wrap it up from there. So, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, pre-playoff run, we're averaging 58.8. We'll go ahead and round up. We're averaging 59 points per game. We, as to the shock of no one, put up the most total points. We put up the most offense by almost 750 yards. We were just disgusting. And our defense, not the best we've ever done, that's for sure. We are giving up 12.3 defensive points per game. We've let up 160 points the entire year. Again, not the best. The team does not have the standard I would typically have, but you know, you got to work with what you got to work with. When you're putting 30 people into the league every single year, it's kind of hard to keep 599 overall corners on your team, but I do try. So I guess on that note, we can wrap up the video. That is me completing my 6th consecutive season of winning a Heisman. So if you guys can, please smash a like on this video. And if you stuck around all the way to the end, I appreciate you. For the special comment question of the day, what do you think is the best playbook in the game? Personally, I still think it's Ohio State as my number 1, but this Georgia playbook, if I get more testing under my belt, I think this Georgia playbook might actually overtake it, which is nuts because Georgia's offense in real life is kind of mid, but their playbook in game's disgusting. Also, for the emoji of the video, go ahead and leave a little robot emoji, and the real OGs in the Discord will know what AI slop I'm referring to there. But I appreciate y'all, and let's go ahead and roll the outro, shall we? As always, I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, night, afternoon, or day, depending on whatever time you watch my content in the future. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, drop me a follow, or sub on Twitch. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you can, please become a member. Memberships do support the channel a ton. You get early access to all the videos like you're watching right now, whether it's a day early, a week early, a month early, a few hours early, videos early, along with VIP voting for other stuff in the Discord and whatnot for future streams and videos, and much, much more perks are on the channel. So yeah, guys, shout out to all the beautiful bastards you guys see right here. Much love to all you guys. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Deuces.